Fine.
Tell me when to go.
Go.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, me and Boo, in the garage where I had a heart attack. It was right here, scooping up Samuel's dog's poop, where I realized that my heart was not working anymore. It was actually the third day that I'd had a heart attack. It really is kind of melodramatic, but something changed. And after you've had a heart attack and nearly died, you ask yourself, if I had died then, would I really care about this? And so much of the stuff that bothers us every day doesn't rise to that level of expectation. So when we begin to talk this weekend about the purpose of our lives over the next 5, 10, 15 years, one of the things we want to ask is, what will it be like when we pass from this world into the next? What you want is your life in this world to be the smallest, tiniest step over into the next. When Stephen Covey said we ought to begin with the end in mind, he acted like the end for us was death, but that's not true. The end for us is the new heavens and the new earth. And so if you can know something about what the new heavens and the new earth will be like, you ought to live this life with the end in mind, looking for what the new heavens and the new earth will be like. In the Old Testament, when the prophets spoke about the coming kingdom, they used a phrase to tag, in the last days. So if I started a story with you and I said, once upon a time, you would immediately know it was a children's fairy tale. When the prophets began with the phrase, in the last days, everybody knew they were talking about the coming of the Messiah. And so in Micah chapter 4, 1 through 6, the prophet begins, in the last days, and then he tells us three things about the new heavens and the new earth. One, the mountain of the Lord will be the tallest mountain. All the glory that will come from all the nations will stream to God's mountain. So one of the things we want to ask this weekend is there any place in your life where God's glory could be even 1 inch more important? And what impact would that have on your life if it did? Secondly, it says that they beat their swords into plowshares, that nations didn't make war against nations anymore. There was an end to violence. And so the second thing that we know is that in the new heavens and the new earth, there won't be any more violence. James said every man should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because man's anger doesn't bring about the righteous life that God desires. So the second thing we're going to look at, first of all, is the Lord's glory in your life, where we began, where we're going. The second thing we're going to look at is, what is the function and role of competition and anger? What is the impact of anger in your life? Not blow up anger necessarily, but that low-grade fever that just keeps you frustrated with your life every day. And thirdly, we see that in the new heavens and new earth, in the last days, not only will the Lord's mountain be the tallest mountain, not only will they beat their swords into plowshares, but finally, the third thing is, every man will sit under his own vine, every man will sit under his own fig tree. No one will be afraid, because everyone will have enough. My son Samuel put me onto this book called One Bullet Away by a guy named Nathaniel Fick. I have my dad's copy of Out of the Darkness by William Manchester. It's the story of the Marines in World War II, just like this is the story of the Marines in Afghanistan. Both of those books talk about what it means for a soldier in battle to know that every single thing counts. Whether he ties his shoe in the morning, whether he puts on his belt, you don't know what could be the smallest thing that could separate living and dying on a particular day. And the thing about men is we're born with a hunger to know that what we do matters. So what I'd like to offer is that if you had a business plan or a mission statement that included making sure that other people had enough, If your goal for 2015 wasn't merely the profit of your company or the growth of your family or the advancement of your children, but if you really had a passion to live your life so that other people had enough, then every single day, whether you tie your shoes or put your belt on or drive your car or straighten things out, makes a difference. So the third thing we're going to talk about, not the tallness of the Lord's mountain or the end of violence, but what does it mean to care for the poor? Look forward to seeing you this weekend. Thanks.